Hey guys, it is Dani and welcome to this update video this evening. I trust and hope that you've been having a fantastic Friday thus far. And so we will be taking a look at all of these systems across the Atlantic. So there are multiple systems, a new area to watch, matter of fact, for development as we head into the new week, coupled with our Caribbean system, which is given a high chance to develop. And so we will be looking at all these systems. And before I go into details, please do subscribe if you haven't yet done so and tap the bell so that you never miss an important video. Alright, so as we look back at these satellite imagery, we have our Caribbean system, we've got Franklin, and there are also the remnants of Gert, lots of showers and thunderstorms that have been sheared off to the south, bringing some rainfall to parts of these southeastern islands, especially Barbados. We've also got 92L out there, remnants of Emily, and a new tropical wave that has made its way off the coast of Africa. So as we look at the latest map here coming from the National Hurricane Center, here we have the various areas being marked with the exception of the remnants of Gert. And then the remnants of Emily unlikely to develop. 92L might try to get itself together, but there is some uncertainty down the road. And then that's a new area. So another tropical wave, not the current one I just showed you guys. Another one will be making its way off the coast of Africa, and we could see some development of it as we head throughout next week. But of course, the main area of concern is that shaded red region right there, that disturbance located in the Caribbean, which is now designated as 93L, Invest 93L, which I was expecting. And an Invest is an area of investigation that is being closely watched for development. So there we have it over there. Let's go on to these satellites. And here we can see the Caribbean. We've got our system. And matter of fact, it is producing a lot more shower and thunderstorm activity. So it's likely just going to be consolidating from this point onwards as it approaches tropical cyclone status, tropical depression, tropical storm. And it could become a hurricane. I would not be surprised with that outcome. But in terms of where exactly will be affected by this, if you're in Florida, you want to keep watch. Florida is likely going to be impacted, but where exactly, that is unknown at this point in time. It is just too far out to tell, and there are many variables at play here. So I'll be going into some more details about that. But as you look into Jamaica, especially for southern parishes, there have been some thunderstorms this afternoon. And Franklin is not moving to the south. It appears to be doing so. All that activity is being shared to the islands of the east. So it would appear as though the cyclone is moving back in, but that is not the case. It's just wind shear, those upper level winds in the atmosphere acting on the system, displacing those thunderstorms, and that is the reason it hasn't been strengthening much, but it is producing a lot of heavy rainfall, likely in parts of Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, and we even see lots of activity in parts of Hispaniola, sections of Haiti, the Dominican Republic, especially the southern portion of the country. Bahamas, Turks and Caicos Islands, likely sunny throughout most of today, nothing much going on. Similar story for the ABC Islands. Let's drift further to the east though, so that we can have a better picture of what's happening. And here we can see it, all this activity moving across the Lesser Antilles down to the south, and some of those thunderstorms are in association with the remnants of Gert. So Gert dissipated many days ago, but there's still that low pressure area that remains, and we've seen some thunderstorms popping up, and those were what brought some heavy rainfall to Barbados, even going to other sections of the southeastern Caribbean islands this morning. But Franklin is not moving south. Let me emphasize that. Matter of fact, let's go on to the cone forecast for it. So as of the 5 p.m. update, sustained winds are 50 miles per hour, and it is moving to the east-northeast at 6 miles per hour. So it will start moving on a northward track as we head into tomorrow, and as we head into the early part of next week, a northwestward track, and then eventually making that curve around the high pressure system. So it's that high pressure out there that really helps to influence the track of most of these systems. They're like blockades, and tropical cyclones can't just go through them. They have to go around it. So we find that we're going to have that northeastward track as we head into the middle part of next week. And so the system is likely to pass to the west of Bermuda, but you still want to keep watch because it could be close enough to induce some impact. So you want to keep watch if you're in Bermuda. But as of right now, Franklin is going to be making its way up to the north, as I said, and then out. And then now we're returning to the the Caribbean disturbance 93L. So we're going to be looking at some model data since it is now designated as an invest. We have the track guidance, but there aren't many models available at the moment. The two that are expecting that, hey, we're going to see potential landfall in Florida. And why this curve? Well, a frontal system is going to be exiting the U.S. and it's timing really that is going to be determining a lot. And that is why it is so difficult to pinpoint an exact location at this point in time. As the system develops, as we get closer to when impacts are expected, which is around the middle of next week, we should have a better picture of what is ahead. So as of right now, there is going to be some inaccuracies. There will be some consistencies, but we have that general idea that it is going to be Florida that will be impacted. We just don't know where exactly at this point in time. But as it lingers in the northwestern Caribbean, there is going to be a flood threat for parts of northern Central America, which includes the Yucatan, also for sections of western Cuba, potentially the Cayman Islands as well. So I have seen the comments from you guys, heavy rainfall there. So please stay safe in the event of any flooding that is induced there. And then as we head to the intensity guidance, still not a whole lot of models available, but we have more compared to the track guidance. And here we can see that as of now, all of these models expect that this is going to intensify into a tropical storm. And some of them are saying this could even become a hurricane, which is not surprising. I mean, the Gulf is very warm. As we look at the sea surface temperature map here, 30, 31 degrees Celsius, even a 32 degrees Celsius could be out there, very warm. And the minimum requirement for tropical cyclones is around 26 degrees Celsius. So there's a lot of heat out there to fuel the system as it develops. But there is going to be that land interaction, especially with the Yucatan. So that is going to kind of help to keep the intensity of it at sort of a minimum. So nothing crazy expected imminently. But once it is over warm water and other conditions are conducive, which they're likely to be, then we could definitely see some intensification. But as I mentioned earlier, that frontal system will influence the track of it, making the system move to the northeast. That is why that landfall is likely in Florida. And it is also going to be kicking up the wind shear. So that should help to suppress the system a bit and prevent it from becoming anything too major. But again, timing. How soon will that happen? So there are many variables to work with here. But overall, the environment is conducive for us to have intensification. So it is not in an area that is being heavily sheared at the moment. And even looking at the dry air map, here we have those areas of yellows, oranges, reds, indicates all of that dry air and dust out there. We're seeing that isn't really a problem for the system. So it's just the land interaction, as I said. And also, if it is going to start accelerating into the Gulf very quickly, that could also prevent it from really slowing down, getting those thunderstorms wrapped around the center, and overall intensification. So internal shear could be an issue for the system if it decides to move quickly once it enters the Gulf. But as I said, we'll have to wait and see what is going to be happening. But you won't be caught off guard because I'm here to keep you guys posted with these dual updates each day. And so that is pretty much it for this update. That is what I wanted to share with you. And I really hope that you found it to be quite informative. But if you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments. I will respond to you once I get the chance to. And as always, remember to be weatherwise.